Hey guys, Rob here. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a mistake I see 99% of business owners or entrepreneurs make that ends up causing them tremendous pain, tremendous misery, and heartbreak down the line. I'm going to teach you what it is in the hopes that it will save you some time and pain in the future as well. So I've spoken to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs by the phone. I've interacted with thousands and thousands. I've heard challenges, pain points, and after a while of speaking to so many entrepreneurs and business owners, you actually start to see patterns in how people, do things, in how people behave. And you correlate it with who is the group of successful people who go on to become successful versus the people who, maybe go on to continue to fail again and again and again. And one of the things I noticed is that when a person is starting a business, usually they are following some sort of guide, whether they've bought themselves, like a video course, whether they, have been following some sort of YouTube channel or some strategy online. That is generally how they get started. And they start, trying to follow this guide to build this successful business, right? But what happens is they end up, after some time, not get any results. And the main reason why is that the guide or the strategy that's been laid out isn't actually matched towards their strengths, right? So for instance, a person might be quite an analytical person, and for them, creating content is really tough and it's just not their strength at all. They haven't got the creativity which is behind it. Or, roles reversed there, they might be a really, really creative person, and then when it comes to handling the numbers side of the business, maybe Facebook ad tracking or Google Analytics and seeing how adverts are performing, they just can't really do it. And this actually comes from a book here, this strategy which I'm going to teach you, called Managing Oneself. Now, I would highly recommend picking it up. It's 5 books and it's friggin' 60 pages long. It's a little tiny book. Look at the size of my hand compared to it. And basically in this book, it's by a guy called Peter Drucker, and he talks about that the only real way to get success is to really work from your strengths. And the people who don't work from their strengths end up basically sucking at life. Most people spend their life actually working from their weaknesses. This is really, really common in the entrepreneur world. It even happened to me as well. For instance, I went through a stage, I had a few different mentors, a few 8-figure mentors as well, who were teaching me what they do in their business to get massive results. And I was like, boy, do I want to learn that. And they were telling me all these great things, about what they do, what their routine is, how they structure their day. And basically what it boiled down to is kind of lock yourself away, very much focus just on single projects at a time and, in isolation, away from people, and just kind of think and, do all these things just on your own, right? And that, although I took some good things away from it, I don't want to say that I didn't take anything good away from it. It wasn't my strengths, okay? Because I'm a very social person and I need to almost be around people. I need to be talking. So hearing this, I tried to understand how myself actually worked. And there's a few different ways to understand how yourself works. One of which is getting feedback from other people about what they think you're interested in, but also doing personality tests online. There's a few different types of personality tests you can do. You could do Myers-Briggs, and you could do, Hexaco as well, which teaches you basically how you act and what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. So for instance, on my Myers-Briggs, I'm an ENTJ, which is also known as the commander. So I work very well with communicating with people, with speaking to people, with managing teams, with driving an idea all the way to the finish line. Things like this. And also my Hexaco quiz scores shows that I really like talking to people, and I need to basically be in an environment where I can be very honest and sincere with whoever I'm speaking to. So for instance, like, I can't like virtue signal to get like followers. That might work for some people, but it can't work for me. I need to stay like authentic and basically say what's on my mind. Otherwise, I don't actually end up getting results. And this book says that you should always be working towards your strengths and take a little while to figure out what your strengths are and then optimize your entire business around your strengths. So for people like Sam Ovens out there, his strengths are being introverted, locking himself away in a room, in a forest, and just actually working deeply on different types of work. Then you look at somebody like Grant Cardone, his strengths lie in speaking to people, closing sales, being on stage, being a machine in just producing and getting in front of the camera. So two very different polar opposite personalities, both do very well. One arguably does much better than the other, but one's much younger than the other, right? So what I would say is most entrepreneurs work on their weaknesses. They are following a guide and the guide's just not good for them, right? And it's important that you learn a little bit about everything, even if you're not a creative person and you don't know how to make content, you don't know how to be like creative or whatever. It's important that you still try anyway, just so you can kind of understand that process and you can go through the steps. And the same is understanding like the data-driven side of your business as well. Just giving these two examples, there's plenty more, or managing people. It's important that you still try anyway. So you can eventually, oversee somebody else doing it. But basically, you should pick the things which you're strong at, and what you determine is you're strong at is from personality test feedback and also results feedback as well. Things which have generated you money, and you should repeatedly do those, triple down on those, keep working on those, keep improving on those. For me, I know I had to be around people, so I was like, I'm going to hire people. I am also going to, speak a lot more. I could do this in multiple different ways. I could meet a whole bunch of other entrepreneurs and continually share ideas with them, share stages with them, get on video more. And it's all part of managing my own strengths. And when I do that, because it is my strength and I like to do these things, I notice the needle on my business moves upwards. So what I would question is if you've not got any results at the moment, or like the results that you're getting with your business, the kind of here, there, and everywhere, I would be taking like a step back, taking like a week away from your work and working out exactly what your strengths are. Like genuinely question yourself, like, am I good at this? Am I naturally good at this, what I'm doing right now? If I'm not naturally good at this, is there a way I can increase the skill and get a bit better at it? Or maybe like mix in a few of my strengths into it? Or is there a way that I can focus entirely on something else and maybe get this other area, which I'm having to step back from, either automated or get someone else to take over it, or even just eliminate it altogether so I can only manage my strengths, only work from my strengths to get the best result. So that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, pick this book up. It's really, really good. You want the knowledge in your life as well, because there's a lot of great people out there who've accomplished a lot of great things, and you might as well learn from their mistakes and learn like how they deal with things, right? Rather than walking through the world blind, because it's no good to walk through the world blind. You need to understand like history, the psychology of how people, have built great things before you as well. Because trust me, you do not have all the answers. Neither do I, neither does anyone, but you can at least educate yourself and get a little bit smarter. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. See you in the next one.